it is time to move on to the DC Universe. And I had a little help from a really great article from Vanity Fair. It's going to be linked in the description of today's episode. I highly recommend this read if you are looking for, like, what happened with the Snyder Cut. Like, just a quick, like, what actually went down? Why did this movie get remade? Why was there a Snyder Cut at all? I was really wanting to, like, kind of ground myself in that for today's episode because this is a big deal, that this movie happened. So if it's okay with you guys, quick little intro.
Please do. I honestly didn't. I kind of know what you're about to say, and I didn't know this information till like.
This is basically
I didn't care enough to.
This is basically taking all of it and putting it down to like 10 sentences. All right. Again, big thanks to Vanity Fair. So here's the gist. In 2017, this movie Justice League comes out. All right. It comes out. It's released by Warner Brothers. Zack Snyder was the executive director. His wife, Deborah Snyder, executive producer. And in 2017, tragedy strikes. The Snyder family lose their daughter to suicide. She's 20 years old, and her name is Autumn. Zack Snyder walks away from the film due to this incident to go take care of his family, but also because of creative differences at Warner Brothers. It was a mixed bag, it seems like, but it was mostly because of his daughter. Just going to say, take care of his family. WB, the Warner Brothers CEO and chairman, Kevin, at the time, I don't think he is the CEO anymore, Kevin Tsujihara,
Probably shouldn't be.
based on this, assigns watchdogs to the film after Snyder leaves in the form of DC Entertainment creative Geoff Johns and Warner Brothers co-production head Jon Berg. And he also adds Joss Whedon, who had left and walked away from the Avengers movies to come do this film. Do you remember this? He's an Avengers
Sort
guy.
of, yeah.
And so Joss Whedon comes on. Nutshell, everyone hates the movie. Everyone complains about it, including the fans. I think it did pretty lousy on Rotten Tomatoes. You can fact check me, PC Mike. I want to say it's like around a 42.
Yeah, it's 40s, I think.
And not only that, but there's major complaints about this team of people being harsh conditions. Joss Whedon making it real rough for Ray Fisher, who's in a current legal battle happening now. Gal Gadot had spoke out again about Joss Whedon, working with him. Not really here to harp on it, but I'm just laying out what I read in this article. And right away, and for years, we start seeing this hashtag for people to release the Snyder Cut. It happened last week on HBO Max. Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut is out. It's 4 hours long, and it's here.
Wild.
Just a wild story.
Hey, Josh, is it like Whedon?
It's Joss.
Joss
Yeah,
Whedon.
you got to get it right. It's
With
Joss.
2 S's. Yes.
It's like you forgot a letter at the end of Josh.
Joss.
He
Whedon.
co-wrote Toy Story.
Well, I don't know what to say about that.
And, I mean, he wrote and directed the Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah, he's done some stuff.
He's done some stuff.
Buffy
And-
the Vampire Slayer, too.
And I don't, it's hard to like have an opinion, a really strong opinion about any of it if you weren't there.
Yeah, but, I mean, clearly actors Ray Fisher,
Yep.
Michelle Trachtenberg,
Probably Gal Gadot.
Charisma Carpenter, Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot,
Yes.
and Amber Benson all said he was awful.
And there was a bunch of things more in the article. I highly recommend, if you want to know more about this, read this article. There's a lot of things that you'll read about the writing style and the things that he was adding and how people around him were having to just kind of smile and be like, I think that this is wrong. Like people seeing it go downhill. Did you know that Zack Snyder has never even seen Justice League?
Good for him.
I believe
Never.
that for sure.
His wife was like, you can't, you shouldn't.
He'd make you so mad.
Yes,
That's good. I hope that's true.
I know.
Because there's so many
It's
questions like
right.
about this movie, like if how much he really added or how much he was just like in reaction to fan theories and things
Exactly.
like that he just wanted to give to us.
Exactly.
I appreciate both sides,
But you're right, Andy, because we talked about this, and we're going to get right into it right now. I want to know how we felt about this movie, and I want to know some general feelings. But we talked about how, there were some things about, I was finding myself comparing the films.
Oh, I think everybody does.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because when has this ever been done? It's never happened. They've never remade a movie.
No, they've had like Lord of the Rings
Reboots.
came out with like the extended version.
Extended cut. There's more
Yeah.
scenes. But this was like, we remade the movie.
Well, we thought it was just going to be, hey, they added some scenes. But then comicbook.com I think one of those guys said it's about 12%.
12%.
12. And I think most of
Yeah.
the 12% just by watching
Andy,
was the Flash.
Andy knows. I was counting out loud.
Yeah, every single.
I just had it in my head about how long we were, and we got to about halfway through, and there was a scene that I recognized from the movie before, and I would just go 10%.
I think most of
Like,
them.
I just kind of knew. I was like, I think we're about 10%.
I think most of them were Flash scenes. It seemed like.
The Flash. There was also some crossover with the Batman and Momoa meeting scene.
Uh-huh.
Before we get into it, oh man, I'm really excited to talk about this. How did you feel, PC Mike, about this movie? I'm not gonna mess around. I want to hear what you think about this thing.
I want movies to be like this. This is a TV show that's a movie. It is 4 hours. I took an intermission.
Oh yeah.
I went to bed and then watched it the next day.
A lot of people have split it up. I've seen online a lot of people tweeting and on Instagram being like, I watched it. I'm finishing it tomorrow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And you loved it.
I paused it, went to the bathroom, got something to eat, came back a little bit, ate dinner, then came back. Like, it was a TV show in a movie format.
And you liked it.
Loved it.
You loved it.
Loved it.
Oh man, it's gonna be hard. Maybe we should do the ratings first. You guys already know what it is?
Like my rating?
I know what mine is.
I know what mine is.
Why don't we just do a round table rating real quick and talk
Oh,
about this
God.
movie? Let's just get out of the way.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
3.7.
Oh man.
I know. I was so excited to hear Mike's input the whole time.
I was going
why do you-
between-
what do you- look at me, just rapid firing the guy. I'm looking right at him.
I was going back and forth between 3.6 and 3.7.
Yes.
And you just talking about it, and I feel like I got to be a stan a little bit. I pumped it up to 3.7.
This is awesome. I'm glad we're doing this first. Giggler, tell us how you talk about it. Just
Yeah,
talk about it.
I think a lot of people like the only complaints I've seen is a lot of people saying that like the character still didn't get like that development, but like
Mhm.
I don't know. I agree that that's something that you can complain about, but like there weren't prior movies.
Yeah, I don't know if you. I think it's
there
hard.
There weren't prior movies for those characters, so like that's a lot to ask, even in a 4-hour movie. Like
Yes.
I don't know. That's just not a gripe that I had. I still enjoyed this movie so much from the start to finish, where I didn't really want it to end. Still,
Right.
even after 4
that's,
hours.
That's funny.
In one sitting, like we didn't even break it up.
We didn't stop. The
I
only
was just like-
the only thing we stopped for was when the food got delivered,
That's it. Yeah.
and that was good. Shout out to
K-pop.
K-pop. Whew. It's like
Yes, delicious
Chinese?
Korean,
Chinese?
Kor-
Korean?
it's Korean?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was bowls. They're so good.
that was the only time we stopped though. And you're right. When this thing ended, and you're just watching those end scenes, you're just like, maybe there's one more.
I don't know.
Maybe there's one more. I was
But-
feeling myself think that.
I did go through the previews, like fast forward, or the ending credits, and like fast forward and see
all
if
the
there's
way
anything.
to really double check
Yeah, to
yourself.
see if there's
Yeah.
anything.
All right, so I got to give a rating.
I think you should. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give mine
So
too. I have mine.
I gave
Let's do
mine-
that first. We can talk about all of it.
directly after the movie. I said, rate it now. You're going to talk about this Monday. So 3.5.
Higher than I thought.
Yeah, I agree. I just like it was weird to me that even though the movie was 4 hours, that I still wanted it to not end. So I was like, I have to give that credit as a higher rating. Like I just didn't really have many complaints. I'm easy to please, as I've always said. Probably my lowest rating ever is like a 2.8. So, but this is still. I'm not gonna like. I went to rewatch it today, and I was so excited. And
Right. You're just like, I'm happy to hit play on this.
yeah. Just like me being a kid again. I'll just watch Batman movies on repeat, all of them.
How good was
Throw this in the
how
rotation.
good was Batfleck in this?
I thought
Awesome.
I thought he was great.
Kind of nailed it.
Yeah.
Looked amazing, that silver suit. All right. I'll
Yeah.
give my rating real quick.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. All right. So I said this before. I found myself doing like the comparison thing a lot. Poor Andy. I was out loud just being like,
It was helpful. I liked it.
But
Don't do
what
that.
was interesting to me was when like a line had been like removed, or like a simple line had been like switched out. I remember a lot of the dialogue from the first movie, and I was just like, that's interesting. So as like a fan that maybe watches these a lot, I thought, I bet there's others like out there like me too, just kind of like not being able to help doing that. But watching this movie, all I could think was, this is fucking awesome. Pardon my French. I don't cuss much on the show.
How did this not get your first shot?
And
Like-
this is my biggest question about the Snyder Cut. Like, I know there were reshoots. So, like, how much of it was the Snyder Cut? How much of it was after for things that have been redone? And how much does that even matter, really? Like, I mean, does it even matter? Because here's the thing. The movie's really, really good. And I just kept thinking, like, yep, this is all right. Yeah. I had some problems. I definitely have
Oh yeah.
an issue with, I want to talk about some stuff, but like with Darkseid, man, I was hoping for more. But I love the movie. Let me just give the rating, knock it out of the park here. It's a 3.6.
Whoa, we're all pretty high.
Look at us. I'm so happy.
Me too. I was thrilled with the experience. I really had like an experience watching this thing. It felt so cool. I told Danny this. I was like, when has any movie at a home premiere got me to get off my butt, drive to the Giggler's house, and like have just like, I was like, let's just have like a movie night.
It's an event.
It's an event, and it felt like an event. I didn't want it to end. PC Mike, tell us more about what you were thinking.
I mean, like Andy said, would I like more character development? Yes, but can you do it in a 4-hour movie? No. But I thought they did a great job. Like,
so much more exposition for real.
With Cyborg. Awesome. He has a backstory now. Even more with the Flash, like him saving that girl. Was that in Justice League?
No.
That was an awesome scene. Him breaking the glass
the
and
music,
going through and
the music
saving her.
Perfect.
Aquaman, that's the one big thing I've seen online. People are like, Aquaman wasn't as good. Like, he was just kind of meh. I liked him. He was fine. But I think the reason I kept liking this movie and like not wanting it to end is because something new was happening every 30 minutes. Like, oh, this is happening. Here's a backstory. Here's a backstory. Here's a backstory. Oh, guess what? We're going to add the most famous superhero of all time now to the show. Here's Superman.
And you're waiting on it the whole time. You're just like, Steph kept saying it. She's like, when are they going to get my man on the screen? I'm like, I'm with you. Let's get this black suit going.
Yeah.
It looked fantastic.
Awesome.
That was great that we watched it with someone that didn't even realize until like an hour in the movie that he'd never seen even the original Justice League before.
God, that was a funny moment.
My roommate Mike.
Don't go back. Don't go back.
No,
Yeah.
I was like, it was a light bulb went off in my head. I was like,
oh yeah,
you
there's
are.
people-
I was like, you're having the best experience out of all of us because you're just seeing the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a buddy text me, say, hey, Mike, hasn't this been made before? I said, whoa. I said, how much time you got?
Mike, our buddy Mike, that's been on the show, he texted me the same thing. He's like, was this? I feel like I saw this. I was like, yeah, it was a remake.
You saw 12%.
Well, I say remake, but they advertise it as like this other cut.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the truth: they did reshoots. They added some more stuff, which is fine. At this point, are there cheat? Like, I mean, the movie was made and then they made a second one, so it happened.
Yeah.
And I think I differ from you just a little bit with Darkseid.
Yeah, I really want to talk about this.
I thought it was cool how they did integrate him like here and there.
Yeah,
like he wasn't a player, but he's like, Steppenwolf's gonna mess this up, huh? Like,
that guy.
and like
I
kind
love
of
that
just
guy.
like in the. But it was different than I think. I liked it because these movies, I feel like DC tries to mirror Marvel a lot,
Yeah.
and Marvel hasn't really done that. Like they did the Thanos like end credit scenes, but they didn't like put like basically like little end credit scenes in the movie, like giving you those breadcrumbs, those teasers,
Yeah,
and little things like that.
I know what you mean.
Like I thought that was cool because it set up other movies that probably maybe won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot like seeing Thanos in like in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You know, you're seeing like the mission behind the mission and setting up the bigger mission. Here's all I'll say about it. It wasn't definitely. I'll tell you this. It definitely wasn't even a complaint. It was. Said this to you, Andy, when we were at your house. This movie has been set up to be like the one-time Snyder cut, and like it's not part of any universe. But I'm like, here's the thing, man. If you're not setting up sequels for this movie, I mean, of course you are. You're introducing characters like Ryan Choi. Let's just get it out of the way. Martian Manhunter is in this movie.
Mm.
Like, not in the first one. Like, this character is going to be doing something. And to me, I thought this was going to be a one-time thing. So I thought that the big Darkseid fight was happening. So to see it not happen and to see them, like, I mean, it was cool. It was like, see you at another time. He's like, I'm not coming in right now.
He's like, I'm like scouting you.
Yes, and he was pissed too.
Yeah.
I'll say this too. I like this Darkseid. I think he looked cool. I think he sounded awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know anything about Darkseid prior to this.
So, Mike, I'm definitely not complaining. The thing is, if I don't see this Darkseid on screen again, then I'll be sad.
Well, I know I said that like there might not be sequels, but there is some glimmer of hope, and I think it was in the Vanity Fair article. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Zack Snyder said, "What do you think is more realistic? Them to give me $70 million to do edits or have a sequel to this?"
Yes, and
He's like, that's a lot less more. Like that's never been done.
And I said it. I said this a couple times in this show. Warner Brothers isn't like in the game of charity.
No.
They're not here to be like, here's all this money. Yeah, cool. We'll just have this. You know, it's really nice. We're just nice. this is an investment.
And I hate to say it, I get why they went on with not my boy, Joss. Like, I get why they pushed it out. I do. It's money. It's a money grab. They
Yeah.
almost made $1 billion with that crap movie. Like, I get it. But now you give me this and you're just going to stop?
Can you pull something up for us while we're talking? I want to know the streams. The streams.
I don't.
Like, do we know the amount of streams?
Or how many extra obviously it's going to be well for this probably, but like HBO Max subscribers in the last like week.
Somebody has written it already. I guarantee
Yeah.
there's an article pretty top in the search results of like streams and subscriptions. That seems to be the new metric. Instead of like
So-
watching cable, it's like streams and subscriptions is the new thing.
It says like, I don't know if these are valid sites, but like 100,000 times in 3 days.
100,000 in 3 days. Okay.
And then this
Because
is
like
it,
a
it
lot.
dropped on. No, it doesn't sound like that many because, well, I don't. Yeah, 100,000 doesn't sound
I'm
like that
2 of
many.
those, so
We can all.
it's not a lot.
We all got these little computers
I
right
don't
here.
know.
You go. Take your time for a minute. So
But-
while we're doing this, we can also do some just like other top moments of the film. But Andy, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, well, just that we're talking about like the different versions of everything like that, and I just saw the other day today that there's a Justice is Gray alternate version that's coming out in a couple weeks.
What?
It's in black and white
No,
and has different scenes with the Joker.
No, it
supposedly.
doesn't.
Yes,
and it like
It's
probably
this-
when he's wearing that one outfit from the photos.
I'm pretty sure it's I think it's that scene will have different. Maybe they won't talk about like a reach around because that was the weirdest part of the whole movie.
yeah.
I just remember scratching my head, and then I saw it second time around. I was like, "What? Why was that in there?"
All right, PC Mike's got it.
I think this is just from India alone. And it was like, book my show stream. I don't know. I don't know if the numbers are out yet for HBO. Like,
They don't have anything on
US.
this yet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's probably fair. I mean, because it's an interesting thing. Like, how often do they release these updates? We'll keep you apprised. Maybe we'll keep that as part of next week.
I mean, Vulture has an article March 18th that came out that says the title is just "The Snyder Cut has already done its job for HBO Max,"
I believe that.
and that was March
Oh
18th.
my gosh, I bet, and everybody's talking about it. So many people. I mean, I'm telling you, it's funny to see the people that like text you about certain movies. Like, this is one that a lot of friends reached out and was like, "I'm watching this today. Like, this, I've heard this pretty. What's the deal with it? What's the deal with this thing? Like, not knowing the backstory." And of course, us nerds, we've known about this Snyder Cut hashtag and petition. I mean, the fans made this happen, and Warner Brothers did allow it to go. I mean, I'm in, man. Can we get more stuff? I want more stuff.
Yeah, I don't think they have numbers yet, but I mean, people are saying. I mean, it's the biggest thing HBO Max has had.
All right, we'll keep you updated on that. Let's talk about some top moments that happened in this thing. I'll tell you right now, my favorite line of the movie, Cyborg. Fuck the world.
Fuck the world. Yeah.
I mean, that was like, oh my God. They went this was a totally different story.
I felt like though they added the 2 F-bombs in the movie just to be like, hey, we got to get an R.
What was
What
the-
can we do? What can we
What
do?
what was the other one?
Batman talking to Joker.
That's right. Yeah, at the
Oh,
end.
yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. So what is this fever dream that he like, why is he having these visions?
I mean, the rumor is.
It shouldn't be a big deal, but like, why do I care about that?
I mean, the rumor is it would be explained in the sequels, but
I mean
I don't-
that kind of makes sense because in the Flash, what was that Batman vs Superman? The Flash scene where he pops into
yes.
and says Lois is the key.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Barry
and then-
pops in, says Lois is the key.
So how does that relate to that last scene? I'm trying to.
Well, because the last scene they talk about Lois. I think she's dead in that in
I, mean,
Vision.
I think a lot of people are dead in that Vision.
yeah. There's only,
Aquaman, Wonder Woman, they're all
yes,
dead.
Yes. Oh, remember Andy? That was the part where remember the part where it flashed over before so now I'm jumping all over the place. That's the end sequence is the fever dream. But the part about Wonder Woman, whenever the Flash runs back in time, rewinds everything,
Mhm.
because before he did, they lost.
Yeah.
The Justice League lost, right?
Yeah, that was.
And the
Wow.
world.
You
like,
called
was
it too.
blown up.
I'll give you 100% credit. It was like an hour into the movie, and he goes, "Yeah, we're gonna see Speed Force. He's gonna turn back time." And I was like,
Called it.
Holy
You got to go, Barry.
I didn't even think about
ca-
that.
Called
I
it
was-
immediately. I was like, if this is that long, they've showed so much of the Flash in this, and I mean, and here's the thing. Yeah, that's got to go straight to Flashpoint. I mean, you know, how does it not? Like that, the Flashpoint movie's coming. We're seeing this. Like you're gonna tell me these events aren't gonna be in my head? Who's not watching this? We got people watching this that don't even know about the first movie.
Exactly.
Is the first movie just gone?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
like, what's canon?
I think it's not determined yet, but the WB president supposedly like shot down some sequel theories today, but that doesn't. I mean, that
If the
doesn't mean shit.
people want it,
Yeah.
apparently we can get it.
We can change Sonic's eyes. We can get this. We're getting
We can get Sonic better teeth.
Let's start the hashtag here. Release the Snyder Cut.
Somebody
Part
has. They've started a new one already. There's already
Oh.
another. There's already another hashtag out there.
Fine, do its job.
I mean, look at that
Make it.
picture. Hey, and if you're not watching this on YouTube, you should, because the graphics are flat awesome.
Well, and you get to see us three.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that. You want to see these graphics.
Or if you're not doing that, you should look at the Instagram, which looks snazzy as hell right now.
Yeah.
Put the work in the Instagram.
I literally every few hours I log on and I just go look at it because I'm like, what do you do now?
It is pretty.
It's
like-
and here's the thing. That's how it looks now. I appreciate.
But look
that.
at this. Look at this ensemble.
Yes, look at this.
Who would
thing.
you trade out for somebody else?
The only
like any actor.
the only one is probably. I mean, you're right. I almost said Jason Momoa, but the truth is,
I think
here's
he's good.
here's the truth. I think he's way better in this than he is in Aquaman. I think Aquaman's probably like his weakest movie because he's just so goofy and
Yeah.
he's better in the Justice League.
I mean,
movies.
dream casting. I guess I trade Ray Fisher for Michael B. Jordan.
yeah,
But, like,
it'd be great. You
that'd
always
be
want
it.
you
Yeah.
always want Michael B. Jordan.
yeah, but I mean, I think Ray Fisher is a redemption. This movie's a redemption for Cyborg.
More like Cryborg.
Oh, so what I was saying earlier about when Barry's running back, there's that where the world ends, the world got blown up. Wonder Woman's just in a casket, getting like burned at the thing. Remember, Andy?
Yes.
Andy literally out loud just goes, "I don't know what is happening,"
No.
because it went from them fighting Steppenwolf to like all of a sudden the world's burning. It looked amazing.
There are side by sides, and you can see like Wonder Woman versus Steppenwolf, and like just the difference is just. I guess that's worth $70 million.
And he looks totally different. And although you see him a lot, you see Steppenwolf like visit
Yeah.
that guy. Like he has like 3 meetings that you witness. But like he looks amazing.
Yeah,
And-
much better.
Well,
And a character I actually cared about what was like kind of happening. And let's just talk about the end scene whenever he gets his head chopped off
Awesome.
as they send it through the portal back to
And they're
Darkseid.
watching. And they're watching.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
his
that was
head,
cool.
that was amazing. So much violence, a lot
I
of
loved
blood.
it. I really wanted it like to see where I think this happened in Avengers, so that's maybe why. But just where the portal closes on his head and it just chops it right off.
Right.
So one part stays on Earth, one part stays wherever he's at.
Hey,
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining the mother boxes to Zack Snyder, what they actually were and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like giving a little backstory.
and like, Superman yelling, of course. Like this is like it was like that was the signal of like these things are waking up. People
Mm-hmm.
know. Instead of just being like, the mother boxes.
Where have these been for 5,000 years?
That's a deleted scene from Batman vs Superman. So that's one of the things that you could specifically say was it Snyder original idea, not like him adjusting to fan theories, adding stuff, whatever. If that was something that was done in the reshoots, but
Right. You're saying like that was definitely him.
yeah, which that's cool.
But just thank you. Like even me loving DC.
Wow. Cyborg's mom. Maybe we can actually meet her.
And why does he have this grudge against his dad?
Yeah. What is he so like? It's why.
Well, probably.
well-
I don't like how he's like, you killed mom when his dad wasn't even there. I was like, well, that's not your dad.
and we actually got to see him become Cyborg.
Yeah.
Finally, that was cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's like a whole cyborg movie in this movie.
There
Like, that's
is.
just-
Yes, it is. And that recording from his dad,
And when he like went back and like
and then finished it, and was like, "I'm gonna talk to you as my son now." I was so good.
Flash and his dad. I mean
Oh.
the Flash was the best part of the original Justice League, I thought. And I thought he was still really well.
Second favorite line of the movie. We finally have a plan. And I thought that was like for us. I thought that was like for the fans that were just like, yeah, the Justice League like has a plan instead of just like, oh, Steppenwolf's up in wherever, and then cut to the ships flying in.
We found him at this nuclear plant that no one goes to. Did he do battle talk in this one though?
No,
That was my favorite.
no, you know what they did? They ran in and they go. Batman goes, Barry, get everyone out of here. And then he just starts running them out. And it's one of my top moments. Him running, saving all those people was like a lightning storm in the sky.
I did like the battle one from the original. It was like, you guys know how to battle. I'm not a big battler.
Yeah, but I also thought it was kind of lame because he was like, save one person. And I was like,
he's the Flash.
You signed up. You're the Flash.
Yeah.
And I liked how this one was more of just like, get in there and go do it. Yeah. Fight right there with Wonder Woman and Steppenwolf. So great.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else that caught my eye. I already said the Martian Manhunter.
I mean, how they did the end scenes, that was cool.
Yeah,
so
like
they just scenes,
so yeah,
they just kind of did like little catch up stories.
They just brought in. They did the one with Lex Luthor, which they modified.
Yeah, because in the original, we didn't see him that he just wasn't in Arkham anymore. Right?
No, we did. We saw that same scene. That guy turns around, he's laughing. What's different is
it's a longer
scene. Is the scene that I made fun of.
Yeah.
Whenever we talked about it, and I said this, like when Slade Wilson's like, "What do you want, Lex Luthor?" I was like, "Come on, you didn't have a reason to be out there." Like I was like, I don't think he would ever do that. In this one, they changed it, and he's like, he comes for a specific thing. He's like, I heard you were picking up a team to take on the Bat or something like that. Because that's what he wants is the Bat. And I'm like, yeah, a reason.
And then he tells him his name. He's like, oh, maybe I will have a glass of champagne.
Yes. He goes, let me help you out. He's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That was cool. Then I was like, yeah, all right.
But then I was also confused when he was with Batman.
I know.
In that dream sequence.
That's what makes us need another movie or a show or something, please.
That was literally just like stuck on the end. Like he's just having this dream.
Like just connecting those two dots that you just said could be an amazing story.
Yeah, because like were they a team and then Batman did something?
So let's talk about this in sequence and like what actually we see. So we have a whole band of folks. Batman with the coat from the Flash sequence in BVS, right?
Yeah.
Same one, got the goggles.
Dream sequence, yeah.
Looks amazing. It's almost like Batman meets Mad Max. I always love this. Yeah. This post-apocalyptic like world. You got Cyborg, you got Barry, and like the full time travel stuff. It's got like a face shield. You got Slade Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said,
no patch. Did he not have a patch?
Right. What did he?
I think he did.
He did. Right.
He
had to.
Mira was there too.
Mira from Atlantis.
That's one thing people are ripping online.
Like, why is she there?
Yeah, and like her accent, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I saw.
Why would you be upset? Who cares?
I saw something.
I'm saying to these people that like are upset about that part.
Well, I think people
look at me. I'm already getting defensive about it. I must have really liked this movie.
People have turned on her.
3.6.
She could have had an Oscar-winning performance. I think people would turn on her. The internet hates her right now.
Oh yeah,
because of all the Johnny Depp stuff.
I don't know about the Johnny Depp stuff.
We don't have time in this podcast probably to go through.
Go look it up.
Weird thing where she like pooped in his bed or something.
Yeah. Get out of here.
There's some stuff, and then like she took pictures of him doing stuff.
That's gonna be the first thing I do when we get done today.
Well, see you tomorrow because you're gonna go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
that's all right. Maybe we'll talk about it next week.
But yeah, they're like in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yes.
Oh, it's almost like a Suicide Squad out there. Like
yes, it's like it's similar to it's kind of similar to that game trailer that we talked about months back for that Suicide Squad game. But dude, yeah, it's put. And then also, who else is there?
Joker.
And then Joker.
His laugh was better.
Yeah.
I guess.
Tell me what you guys thought of this Joker.
Better. I mean, still no Heath Ledger, but better.
Yeah, he looked better. He's not going to give me any nightmares, that's for sure. So that's all I care about, you know.
And then there was that weird line
about the reach around.
About the reach around.
Yeah. I think they had to add it to BR, maybe.
I don't know.
And then he talks about killing Robin.
See, that was some closure.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Even though it's a dream sequence, Futureland, but I guess that means it's like something.
He's like, pick what you say next.
Yeah, and then he says the F-bomb.
Yeah.
But that would have already happened before Justice League.
See, are we like jumping timelines because of Flash and like he's trying to fix things?
No, there's no question here, right? This is a future. This is like a possible future.
A possible.
They directly talk about it too, because he says, you're too much of a coward to let yourself die."
Yes.
And that was how many alternate realities are you going to take? So like I feel like
it's like how many? And it was like, oh my god, are we seeing a second one? Like this is just changing. Like the picture's changing.
Like he's trying to correct something and keeps going back with the Flash. Like we got to go back. We got to go back.
And like you said, Andy or Mike, that Vanity Fair article talks specifically about. Snyder was quoted to say, there was supposed to be this love story between Bruce Wayne and Lois Lane. in a post Superman world where he's dead, to where like he decides because of how much he loves this woman that he even had Snyder was quoted what Batman's lines were. Bruce Wayne talking to Alfred. He said something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing, something along the lines of, I've never had a reason to like hang up the cape or to bring people together. And he's like, the love of this woman has changed my whole life. And then he decides to bring Superman back to life. Like that's like
Man, but you don't
from
even,
Snyder.
You hardly see Batman and Lois like there's gonna
Well,
have
they
to be
didn't go.
some-
They didn't
Yeah,
do
no.
it though. But maybe long road, maybe.
Yeah.
But now Superman's back though, so I think that's just washed.
But like in that cutscene, they're hiding from him, right?
Yeah, and he shows up
PO'd.
mad and bad.
It's wild. I don't know.
Well, here's the so that first nightmare scene or whatever that was when Cyborg touched the mother box. Is that right? I can't remember the timing of that one, but some of the weird,
Yes,
like,
good call, Andy. That's a really good call. He
So-
he does the mother box thing in the ship when they're bringing Superman back to life, and Cyborg has a vision of that future with
yes.
Wonder Woman. That's when we didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Whenever she's like burning, the world's burning.
And he's like, "Stop. We don't need to do this."
Well, some of the
yes, and he's like, it's a bad idea.
and then Barry's like, "Go."
And Barry goes, and like,
So maybe Cyborg saw the future and it wasn't what they needed. It's like opposite Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
why did he have? Where are these visions coming from? Because Cyborg's having them now.
He's a computer. I mean, isn't he? Like,
Is it Barry time traveling? Is it something with the Speed Force? Like, I mean,
I
I just
think-
need some reasons. I guess I'll tell you that's a hole for me. That's not really
Mhm.
being filled just yet.
So some of the things that were in that first like vision or whatever was, I think it was when Superman was like levitating over the broken Justice League sign. So I think he
Mhm.
had Batman's cowl in his hand.
Mhm.
Yes, he
Um,
did.
You could see a ripped Joker card. So potentially that's connecting those events to this event being after this nightmare sequence that was the end of the movie, the
Mhm.
epilogue.
Yeah, the epilogue.
That's kind of a crazy connection that could potentially be there. So like, I don't know.
Yeah,
how
no,
that would all
I-
work, but obviously there's a lot.
Well, and
that
that's the
goes
biggest thing.
wrong in
It's
that time
unquestioned.
period.
What did you say Warner Brothers said about they disputed some sequel theories
Andy said that today.
that like they were already saying like no or something? Like
That
I mean,
was comicbook.com.
but
article
Snyder
today, but, like,
said-
at the same time,
But Snyder said, like, what's more unrealistic?
Exactly.
Them to give me a sequel or them to have me go back and give me $70 million to remake this? That's
So-
never been done. Sequels have been done. This has never been done.
did you guys have any problems with the film that you want like that are worth noting? I'll mention that too. Like we can nitpick all day.
Nothing huge. I'm trying to think.
I know. I'm looking too. I said the only thing I really had was and it wasn't even a diss on the movie. It was really more about the dark side and just that aspect. But other than that, I mean, there was still some corniness, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they were again just some of the things they like took out and stuff. I thought were funny, like the part where Jason Momoa like says bye to Batman, and he's like you're crazy, Bruce Wayne, and he goes in the water. Well, in the first movie, he like jumps like
Yeah.
an idiot and like looks like an idiot. And this one, it's just gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, so was that cut?
Probably.
they should have cut that weird song from those people.
They were singing
Right
it
after
after
that,
he
yeah.
left
Yeah.
for a long time.
That was weird.
I didn't. I liked all the music. There was a lot of slow motion.
Maybe Zack Snyder did see this movie and he's like, hey, that's the first thing we are cutting. Is how he jumped in the water.
He's like, that's the first thing to go. So I was never going to do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of slow motion.
Yeah.
But I
Good
mean,
action.
good action. I mean, here's the thing about the slow motion. It was enough to where I was noticing it. I was like, that's a lot of slow motion. But again, the movie's 4 hours long, so it's already long.
Mhm.
I thought it looked great though.
I did too. I mean, Steppenwolf 180. A lot better.
It
Story
really
was
was
good.
great.
Story was there. That
Yeah.
was it. They gave context for everything. Like that was the biggest thing, was just explaining things a little bit further.
And you got to think, Marvel had 20 movies to tell their story. Great. Not taking anything away from that.
well, you can't because it's an achievement. in
They
itself.
basically had one movie to do everything
well
without Batman versus
You say that, but that's also like saying like I'm the one that messed up my bed, and it's like You know, like they're
Yeah.
they're the ones that made the first movies, and like they
I
could
know.
have taken their time and done like better. So they should have done a solo Batfleck movie.
But I'm
But
saying
I hear what you're saying.
like 3 hours and 45 minutes, let's call it. And they did a pretty good job of putting everything in there.
Well, and here's the pressure that was on this movie. Really, was that it wasn't just that this Justice League movie sucked. It's that everything's had problems.
Mhm.
So it was like, hey, can Zack Snyder really come in and make something that's better than everything we've seen,
everything he's done
everything he's done,
in the DC world.
and everything we've seen? Like in terms of like, because it's like DC people are like, yeah, but we know about being let down. We've been let down for years. Is this movie gonna make us happy? I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah. I think it did its job, just like that article said.
I think it did too. It's a good movie.
I don't know if this means anything. Do you know the epilogue title? A Father Twice Over.
That was Cyborg's a line from his dad in the tape.
Anything to do with Bruce and Lois?
I don't know. What do you mean?
I don't know. I mean, that's
Bruce
the,
and Lois.
That's the rumor.
theory you talked about earlier.
What do you mean a father
Zack-
twice over though?
He's gonna be a father. Him and Lois.
Well, Lois had there's a scene where she had a pregnancy test. I didn't catch that the first time, so I saw it in like
What?
a breakdown. So
In this movie?
at
In
the
this,
yeah,
in
we
this-
are
in-
we are supposed to believe at the end of the movie that she's pregnant with Superman's kid.
oh, she had a pregnancy test in the Snyder cut?
Yeah.
I missed
missed that
that.
too.
I missed it till I watched that YouTube video I saw you guys.
Are you kidding me? So she's like got a
Emergency
baby
Awesome?
coming.
Emergency Awesome is the channel. They have
Okay.
a lot
Plug
of
'em.
good breakdowns that help with this stuff for sure. And that was one of the things I did not. Obviously, we would have both been like, "Oh yeah, look at that."
I
But
can't
we
believe I
just-
missed it. Yeah.
It was like towards the end, so I think everyone just kind of like, okay, there's not gonna be like anything like that going on. But
Here's
yeah.
a part
But-
I wanted to hash out. I was very curious. I mean, the introduction of Martian Manhunter was insane. He was shapeshifted into Martha Kent, visiting Lois Lane and asking her questions about. I don't really remember exactly.
about going back to work, 'cause she's like, "Oh, you haven't been to
Yes.
work for this
Yeah,
long." They told me.
Yes.
So it's like maybe
just checking in on
just
her.
trying to
And that's always been
keep-
his role. You guys said you weren't that familiar with the character.
yeah. Please explain, because I don't.
From what I know, just from the Justice League cartoons I watched growing up, and also from Smallville, they had this character on screen. It's John Jones, the Martian Manhunter. He's from Mars. He's like a sole survivor scenario. There's some people. He's actually been played on screen on the Supergirl in the Arrowverse on Supergirl, and on Crisis on Infinite Earths. They have a Martian Manhunter.
Yep.
And in Smallville too, it's always been like a supporting role for like a Kryptonian. So like he's in the show on Supergirl, he helps her out.
Yeah.
And in Smallville, he was like, I'm here to help you, Kal-El. So like he's showing up to Batman's house now and he's like, I'm around. Some call me the Martian Manhunter. Thought that was kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't need that. Or if you do, just say like, my name is
Mm-hmm.
the Martian Man. His name is Jon Jones. He has a name.
Some
call me.
Some gave me this crappy nickname.
Yeah.
But he looks dope, looks amazing. But he is entangled with Lois Lane? Superman's dead? You just checking in? Does he know something?
I don't know.
He also showed up when Bruce was having that fever dream. Am I looking too
yeah.
deep? I don't know.
I went down a rabbit hole as you were talking.
Uh-oh.
And a father twice over. Let's look at the cast that you
Please
have up there.
lay it on us. Let's get into it.
Flash has a little bit of a father problem, correct?
Yes.
Superman had a picture of his dad with him when he was dead, right?
And we get lines from both his dads when he's in the ship picking his
Yeah.
Cyborg has a little bit of a dad issue, right?
Big.
Bruce, his father's death caused him to be Batman, and maybe he's going to be a father. And then Aquaman and his father. All of them have daddy issues somewhere,
Damn.
Yeah.
besides Wonder Woman. I don't
Aquaman
know.
literally says, I'm going to go see my father at the
Yeah.
end. Like, it like leads into, of course, which is like, that was a Marvel move. Like, what's happening next with this character? Aquaman.
He sees his father. Flash sees his father. Cyborg listens to his father. What is going on with the dad stuff?
What's going on with daddy issues?
Yeah.
Is Warner Brothers just tripling down on daddy issues?
I don't
And did Marvel follow? Is that the formula of Marvel? Like Tony did?
I don't know.
Cap, we don't really know anything about
That's
Cap's
a
parents.
whole other episode I think we'll have to do.
Superhero dads and why they cause so much issues. All right, Mike, I think you're onto something. But
Yeah,
like here's the thing though. I'm so nervous because now it's like you've set a precedent.
Yeah.
A couple precedents once, actually. You remade a movie. I don't know what the ramifications are of that long term, like with other studios. Like, you can be doing this left and right.
Yeah.
Like, but also, it was a separate cut, fine. But now that you've done this, I really appreciate it. I give it 3.6 for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I really want some more. I mean, I'm like, let's go. This had Watchmen vibes, like, which is Snyder. I mean, it was good. Like, I was like, show me the next scene. Let's go.
So can we talk? What are we getting next? I mean, Aquaman 2's greenlit, right?
Aquaman 2, Flashpoint movie. We know there's gonna be a Supergirl on that. We also have Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, not a Batman, not Batflick, but Pattinson.
Peacemaker on HBO. A Green Lantern television series on HBO.
And I like the tease. I know it was in the first Justice League, but with room for more. That was kind of corny too.
And will this tie to Titans?
I don't think so.
It's on HBO.
Oh, I have a kind of a theory on that.
Let's hear it.
So
if not now,
I think the Flash movie, obviously doing like this Flashpoint storyline, is going to change and open up a lot of things, kind of like the multiverse and Marvel is changing things right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of like in the Crisis on Infinite Earths storyline, where they kind of teased like all these shows being canon in like kind of the same world universe now. I think that basically Flashpoint is going to do that, maybe just kind of confirm that on a higher level.
Yeah.
To where
it's going to set up,
connect everything, even back to like Christian Bale, Batman, Christopher Reeve, Superman. Everything is going to be like.
And they tried to do this on Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it's going to be different.
Yeah, but I wonder what percentage of people have seen that versus like that watch this.
Exactly. So now they do something similar on this bigger scale. They can do a kind of a reset of like, this is where everything fits now.
Connect Flashpoint to the Snyder Cut, and it's going to be just madness.
And
hey, like the hype that will create. And that's exactly.
Michael Keaton is in it.
And Batfleck.
I think that opens up.
Batfleck is confirmed in it.
I'm on the IMDb right now. It's just called The Flash right now.
If they do that, like think of the fans that would come from maybe like people like, I don't know, like our parents that saw that movie, but doesn't have any interest in seeing this.
You pull in all the audiences back and you get them all on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. I mean, I hope that's what I would love to happen.
That could be their thing. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but
I'm just saying it'll be a real shame if we don't get to see this dark side again.
100%.
Because that's a good villain. I was on board. He looked pretty dope. He had Thanos vibes for sure. I'd love to see those two fight. That'd be awesome.
I think we're forgetting a big DC property that's getting ready to come out too. Black Adam.
Black Adam with The Rock.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where that
the
ties
sequel to Shazam. I mean, it
I got a lot of stuff out there.
But I just hope they can do it right. My hopes are
back to being.
They're a little higher than they were before I saw this.
Oh, they're
a lot higher. Yes.
Yeah.
They actually seen what they could do.
Because like my heart has been broken so many times, and that Justice League movie was like I was like, okay, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said since then, converted MCU fan. I'm still, MCU. I mean, look at this. They're just a train that won't stop. But the Snyder Cut, man, it got me excited again. I was jazzed watching this thing. I was like, that's a Superman in a black suit. This is my favorite part about that sequence. It wasn't just like he came back to life and he had his black suit on. That's like how they would have done it the first time around. It was, no, he has several suits. And he's gone through something, and he chose the suit.
Mm-hmm.
He chose it. So I was like, that's how you do that. And it looked amazing. I love the scene. Man of Steel vibes. I remember Andy, he flew up, and he's just sitting there in the sun.
That was an awesome shot.
Yeah. Awesome shot. Me and Andy just stopped. We just like looked at each other. I was like, this movie's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts, guys? We can wrap it up. I'll say I'm going to give it up for it.
Yeah. Pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
Listener, let us know what you thought. I can't wait to read more about what people say about it. That was one of the biggest things I was kind of looking at before, just kind of curious what people out there are saying. In general, I think it's been well received. I don't know does it have like a Rotten Tomatoes like so far?
Yeah, it's like 70s.
In the 70s.
75. IMDb's 8.4.
I feel like that's really good. And I know that like there's been other people saying like There's been a lot of talk about the violence in it. I know there was like heavier blood scenes, which I was all about. I thought that was cool.
I think that's what they need to do.
You got to be harsh too. That's part of DC.
I think you go R. I think you go R on your movies.
You've already been trying to go dark. You've just been like dancing around it.
Yeah, and Deadpool should have shown you the way that you can still make $1 billion being R.
You think everybody feels like this? All the fans like us?
I think most. You don't think most?
You think that there's people that still are hating on it?
I mean, people were complaining that it was in 4:3 or whatever. And
okay,
like
we didn't really talk about that. It was in 4:3 the whole time. I only noticed it a few times. Like a few times, I was like, okay, it's a square.
Yeah.
But overall, though, I don't care.
Yeah,
No.
I noticed for the first 10 minutes.
I'm still kind of confused as why.
I think there was like a artistic. That's where he wanted you to look. It didn't. I don't know. That's why
They said it was part of his vision.
Yeah.
That's what it opens with.
But then everyone's like, your vision's on TVs now, not on theater screens.
Yeah,
True.
I don't know.
if you watch that on a square TV, it'd probably fit. You
Yeah.
put it in 4:3. It might be a different experience. You just get a square television.
Let's watch the black and white one.
Oh my god! So that's really happening.
On a square. Yeah, it's real.
What is it?
It's called the Justice is Gray
and it's
Snyder cut.
Is it any different
It's
though? Or is it just black and white?
So it's black and white, and supposedly, I read this on Twitter. I can't remember the source, but they said that it's gonna just have different scenes with the Joker.
Okay,
So
all
that's
right.
like a very small part. I mean, I'm not gonna watch this movie in black and white. I will
No,
find
it's-
what scenes are different and go watch them, but like I don't want to watch. Like,
You'll just. I mean, I might put it on, and
Yeah.
just it can just run or something in the background. But
yeah, why?
that's a lot to watch just for a
black
few
and
extra
white?
minutes.
Yeah, why?
Maybe it's probably a test of like, let's see how many people watch it again. All right. Well, we'll keep you posted on the news. Yeah, listener, viewer, let us know what you thought of this movie. Did you enjoy it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you lukewarm on it? Write us at mostlysuperheroes.com/contact, or join us in the Mostly Superheroes Squad Facebook group for exclusive combos. We'll be having a post about this. Spoiler filled. Get some theories out there. I want to hear what people think about this thing. I want to hear some more discussions, and I want to hear from the WB to see what's next. And is there anything next, or is this it? Any final thoughts?
Just don't screw it up. Just why? I don't know why they would want to capitalize on this. If it's not for the only reason would be it just if the people aren't willing to come back. I feel like a lot of these actors have had controversy surrounding their status. Like you see an article here and there all the time, like Henry Cavill out as Superman, but like then he's back in,
Then he's back.
and you just I don't know.
Money talks.
Yeah,
Money
I agree.
talks.
That's
and,
where I'm not.
And now they have HBO.
Yes, they do. And HBO
Doesn't
me-
put out bad stuff.
again. I just don't see a world where they just did this for fun.
I concur.
Here's a question.
All right.
I mean, you're on the interweb.
Yeah.
You kind of dabble in it. You do some things on there. Just me personally, getting on Twitter and looking at this, I would say, if for superhero talk, over 95% was talking about this. Less than 5 was talking about Falcon Winter Soldier.
Well, I thought about that. I thought about that coming into it also. There's just like a lot more, like the Falcon Winter Soldier episode 1 is just a small percentage of kind of like the overall thing with Marvel. So I'm like pacing it. This was an event that like it's been years building up to this one thing.
But take
I'll say
yourself
that.
back 11 weeks
Yeah.
when WandaVision came out.
Yeah.
Dominated everything.
It's true. I'll tell you this. If you're just asking me personally, I'll tell you this is giving me more feels than anything so far from the MCU this year.
Yeah.
I mean, but WandaVision can't take away the special way that I do appreciate it. And I know that it's a longer play too. It's like, I'm watching it for the big movies with Multiverse of Madness, and I know the payoffs for WandaVision are coming.
Sure.
So it's just different because even though this is 4 hours,
But I have not seen something take over like
the
a landscape like this. Even my Facebook that I check.
You're
every
right.
so
I will
often.
say I had a lot of people reach out of the woodwork about WandaVision. I had some, but not as much as this. Still, you're right. I'm going to give you this. It's creating a buzz.
Yeah, and I think they need, like Andy said, they got to capitalize.
People are talking about it. Yeah, they got to move on it.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. I'll give it up for the
Here-
movie.
Here you go, Zack Snyder.
Jeez.
Let's do a 5-film contract,
There you
$100
go.
million.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yep, please.
Please.
I'll chip in for money for that.
Well, I'll tell you this. We'll definitely talk about it.
We have to.
All right,
I think
guys.
it's part of our contract that we didn't sign with you.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. It came and it went just like that. It happened, and it was awesome.
Now that we've talked about it, I'm going to go down rabbit holes like Andy and start looking at like spoilers and like theories and
Well, we only scratched the surface. It's a 4-hour film.
yeah.
I have to just like have it on like what you watching a little bit next week, so we can just talk about it a little bit more.
We should have done like what you watching part 1 of Zack
Just do
Snyder.
6 parts like they did.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the chapters. Just kind of setting it up.
Yeah.
It worked for me. It was a different way. It was
It
kind
was
of
different.
It did feel like it felt good, like being at home and like being on a couch, being like, this thing's 4 hours. And I
Yeah.
said about Endgame, like that's 3 hours, and you could be like, oh, that's a lot. Like, yeah, but if it's good, it's good. This was good.
You gotta think that's the Falcon and Winter Soldier 6 episodes is basically what we just watched a 6 episode
You're so right.
Zack Snyder Justice League.
You are so right. And we were talking about this, me and Adam, about like, what would it be like to binge WandaVision?
We just got it.
I know, and
I liked it.
and I did too. And I'm wondering, that's the fundamental question: is what do people kind of prefer? Is it more of this weekly binge, or is it more of just like sit down, give me like a movie event that I'll be there for hours at least?
Well, now with at home, when did we get into movies have to be 2 hours, or if they're over 2 hours, like, ugh.
Better not.
Yeah. Now it's like, throw it on.
And it's like people are just realizing it's just about time watched total. It's just time
Yeah.
watched.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch a TV show, you could just call Lost 6 hours, but it's, whatever. All right, let us know what you guys thought. We'll keep posting anything we hear about it. Definitely gonna be curious about the HBO Max streaming subscriptions. We know Disney Plus recently crossed 100 million with the MCU stuff that's going. So really curious about HBO Max being so new. It's a lot newer. We'll keep posting what we hear. Right into the show. Let us know what you thought of Zack Snyder's Justice League.